It's been a minute. Welcome to Ghana Goddess at West Stroke Oracle. You know, I'm doing my oracle duties when I show up here to talk about spirituality, right? Oh my God, it's been a minute, guys. I hope everybody's been doing well. I have been well. You guys know that I always put me first, like that song I was playing. That's why I put myself first. Because if you're not right, you can't be right for nobody, right? So it's not about selfishness. It's about you being self-aware and conscious of yourself and putting your priorities straight and, juggle it right. You know what I mean? It's like all about balance. You are number one. Your health, your spiritual, mental health, everything is number one. If you're not in the right place, you don't try to be there for everybody. That's sacrificial lamb. You're not a sacrificial lamb. You may have it in your chart, but you're not. So you have to work it, right? So I show up here when I really can do it. So I'm here. I missed Libra season and Scorpio season, probably almost like 2 months. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't shown myself. You guys know it is what it is. I do what I got to do. Mommy duties, life duties, personal duties, all the duties. And then my duty to the community is how I feel, what I came to help the community with, my services, all right, using my gifts to help us all. So, happy birthday to all my Libra and Scorpio friends. I'm very excited for you because you get a reset button on your life and how you want things to go, right? So you're going to plan, right, for the next year, which is going to be a year one. It's going to be interesting because we're all going to have to be forced to put ourselves first, whether we like it or not. This year was all about shedding, this year of the snake, shedding the old, stuff that were completed, the cycles, the old skin, the old behaviors, things that, we don't need. We've been releasing it. If you've been in alignment, you've been releasing. Now, next year comes, you're ready to step full force into who you are because it's going to be a year one. Year one is ruled by what? The sun. So it's time for the spotlight. It's time to put yourself first. Assertiveness. I'm going too far. Let's get back to why I'm here today. When that time comes, I'll explain it. But today, I will be doing what I promised I was going to do, which is telling you guys exactly what it means when a spiritual person says they are healing. All right? Being on a spiritual path on its own alone is healing, period. But I will be breaking down with some points, right, to illuminate what it really means when a spiritual person says, I am healing, I'm on a spiritual path. I'll give you the processes, the ways in which we do it, all right, and actually, if I can, I will channel in healing energy, but I don't really have to, which they call Reiki, and I have it, thank gosh. Thank divine and thank my soul. I am old soul enough to have that gift. It runs in certain families, certain DNAs. Not everybody has the potent healing energy, but underlying, factor is that we all have ability to heal ourselves because we're naturally healers, all of us, all humanity. But some of us has, deeper and stronger gifts, right? Just like everything else. So, it's all about development, knowing and, channeling into it and channeling that healing energy to come through you, right? So, yeah, definitely I will be talking a lot about those things, the process in which you heal, what you can use, the tools. Because, I feel like a lot of us, our pain has nothing to do with the doctor. It's mental, it's spiritual, it's genetic. It's so, it's on the soul level. It's on the, like I said, energetic level. If we're getting attacked and all that, we don't know. Some of us, our minds are not operating in the full potential because we are under some sort of attachment or attack from some evil source or our own, negativities, not being able to be controlled and suppressed. Stepping up in our high vibrations can put us in the low vibration, which is also called the demonic vibration. Okay, so sometimes we think everything is about demon, God. No, you know already. I don't want to, introduce this whole thing to be too long, but I'll break it all down. So this is going to be a healing session. It's going to be a session where I talk about what healing is and as a spiritual person. All right, and when you step into the spiritual ascension, what are you saying? You know, all these things I've been talking about slowly over a year or so. You know, I mean, I've been doing it for years, but like here with you guys on Facebook, getting on camera, all I'm doing is showing you the steps and the benefits of going through a true spiritual awakening. And healing is one of the major factors, right? You want clarity, you want to be, you know, on your highest vibration most of the time, or in a balanced state where you are at peace and in flow with everything. And yeah, healing is definitely part of the journey. So that's what I'll be talking to you guys about today. I love you all so much, my friends that had birthdays that I didn't hear from me. If I tell you guys I haven't been on Facebook in 2 months, you won't believe me. I'm that type. I'm not always there. I don't do that. All right. I don't have to explain myself. When I feel like it, I can go and I'll be on Facebook every day, and then I don't, and then I retrieve, you know, because I'm that type of person. I'm both. You know, I'm social, but then I'm not. You know, I retrieve. I go into myself. You know, I'm not always ready to be in the camera and be in front of everybody. No. That's not me. And now I think by now most of you have come to understand my personality. You know, I can do it when I feel and the energy is right, and you know, and the energy is right, and I'm, you know, in that energetic flow. I'll be there. But that doesn't take me away from my responsibilities and what I plan to do, you know, for the community and for society. It never stops. It's just not, don't try to predict me. I'm not predictable. I can't predict myself all the time, you know. Things happen and I, you know, twist and turn and I do what I got to do. So anyway, I love you all and I can't wait to talk to you about spiritual healing. You guys know the song that came into my head right now. Sexual healing, baby. This is like, you know, this is not about sexual healing, but soon as I mention, you know, our minds, you know, spiritual people, when you are waking, your mind work in sound and stuff. So soon as you mention something, it triggers memories and it brings about sound, music and stuff. So don't, you know, if you know me, you know I'm always channeling music. Even in my speech, in my conversation, music just kind of flows. So that's how it goes. So don't worry that the sexual healing can, maybe somebody needs sexual healing. Whatever. Whatever it is, we're gonna rock and roll with it. Hey, rock and roll. I love you guys. See you there. Bye. Hello, everyone. So thank you so much for coming. All right. If you had the introduction, then you already know what this is about. So let's get into it, right? So what I want to discuss with you guys today, you know, is one of the major benefits of spiritual awakening, right? And you know, literally stepping into that, you know, higher vibrational aspect of yourself, right? Functioning on a soul level, mentally, and a physical level. It's a union, right? Those three things work together. And so the spiritual awakening, like I always say, is the path that awakens the soul to the spiritual path, right? So with that, then you have your mind right, and then you have your physical body. All these three elements working together is what makes you whole and puts you in the vibration that is true to you, right? So one of the things that happen, the major things, right, that people even go into spirituality for is definitely not just about the gifts, right? But it's also a healing path, naturally. So that's typically when somebody, a spiritual person like me, saying that I've been healing, you know, on my spiritual path, it could mean so many things. And I'll be talking about the points, okay? I think I'm going to go over the points quickly, and then I will break it all down, okay? The points that I'll be breaking down today, which is the healing processes that we use, okay, spiritually, where when somebody has a possession or an attachment problem, like an entity, a demonic entity, all right, attached to their energy field based on the fact that maybe they've been doing something too much. Most of the time it's through addiction or just something that they inherit, or this demonic entity is being, you know, is part of your energy, all right? Because you, like I always tell you guys, this is scary, but it is the fact. You are not just a god, you also have demons with you. You know, every aspect has the other aspects. So the sun even has the negative aspect to the sun, right? Which means there is a demon for the sun and there is a god for the sun. So everything that you are has the other side. So if you are getting some sort of an attachment, maybe it's an excess, something that doesn't belong in your field, and it's getting you out of whack. You naturally have your own that you keep in balance, that work with you. But then when extra comes in, that's when you get all out of crazy, right? So somebody, we can use spiritual, you know, gifts and divination and processes to help you to remove that extra entity that has, you know, taken over, because then they become more demons in you than gods. You have problems, right? So that's one of the uses, okay, of spiritual healing, all right? And this is big, all right? This is the main or the worst or the biggest thing you can use spirituality to heal. Having an entity, a whole demonic entity attached to you, or that uses you as a host to take out its, you know, games or whatever it's trying to do through you, is not a joke. This can really have you messed up, out of alignment, have you doing things that you can't explain. You know, sometimes it can kill you. Sometimes it will take you over, all of you. All right, so it depends. The problem can be big, and this is, you use divination to call angels, to call certain deities to help you. All right, and not everybody can do that. You need special people. There are people that are trained specifically to remove entities and spirits from people, and that's who you will need. Because when you come to me, I have never removed an entity of someone, but I can divine, tell you what it is, tell you the name of the entity, tell you what it's doing, and give you all that. But to remove it, I haven't practiced it on somebody yet. So I don't know what to tell you. But you need an expert. That should tell you that I'm not an expert in removing entities of people. But somebody here with different spiritual gifts, and that's their line. Theirs is to remove entities of people. You need to find someone like that to do that for you. All right, so that's one of the main, most potent and serious problems when it gets that serious. Okay, I probably can do it, but I haven't tried it, so I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have, because I'm not a liar. Okay, the second thing here is practicing moderation, right? Self-discipline, understanding and taking charge, right? So it's like a protective, using protective amulets, gemstones, you know, like setting foods and oils and rituals to maintain, right, and protect yourself from, you know, being out of balance. I'm talking about things as simple as becoming an alcoholic. If you practice certain moderation, which is part of your practice, staying in balance, you'll be able to counteract all this stuff, right? So sometimes you even use colors, dress codes, you know, different, you know, dresses, the colors of the clothing that you're wearing. Like I said, certain herbs and food colors, all this, oils, rituals, candle burning, certain recitals, meditation. All these are processes that can help you raise your vibration. Like meditation, for instance, practicing moderation is a point on its own. The third point is meditation and using sound, visualization to raise your vibration. That way you are constantly, you know, like really in alignment. So you're able to foresee, right, and stay higher than your lower self. The next point that I'll be going over is using the knowledge of astrology, all right? Studying your charts and literally looking at your Chiron, literally using your Chiron position, or Chiron, some people pronounce it that way, which is your deepest wound. So you can go straight for that. Pay attention and hone into where your deepest and most painful wound is. They call it like the wounded warrior path, right? Where this could be in any sign and in any house. Okay, for instance, you could have a Chiron or Chiron in the sign of Taurus, in maybe in the second house, for instance, and that is your deepest wound, is connected to that. So in that way, one of the ways you can understand your wound will be surrounding self-worth, money, materialistic stuff, not being able to save any money, choosing to always live in discomfort. You know, this could be even rooted in the fact that you were raised in poverty and you don't know how to get out of negative thought patterns. You become comfortable with very little, and you don't really know what your values are. Okay, and it could be a pain from even a past life. So in the for instance, if it's in the second house, even is double whammy, which means, you know, you really have issues surrounding money. This is someone who could even say that, okay, money is the root of all evil and will never seek it. They would rather be a bum. They would be angry with people that have money. They will act as if, you know, having money is like the devil's advocate, you know, and it's all stemming from a wound, all right, where they've come to accept it and they don't even see that there's something wrong with it, okay? And that could be someone's wound that they have to heal. Is the biggest problem they have, and they don't know. All right, so sometimes, you know, when you know this placement and what it is, you can start working on that, because it is your biggest and deepest healing point that you need to know. Just like how you need to know your North Node to know where your destiny path is, you need to know your Chiron to know what is your deepest and strongest wound. Because sometimes you just don't remember. It stems from past life, or it's happening from it happened in your childhood, where you were deprived of so much that you are an adult and you are like, oh yeah, I'm good. We're just sitting on the sofa and sleeping on the sofa. And you don't understand that it's because of how you were conditioned. Or you may want money so much because you don't want to be, you know, poor. You're afraid to be poor. It can go the other way, that because of poverty from your childhood, you are afraid to be poor, so you work your fingers to the bone just so you don't ever have to feel that. That is also a problem. So it's not about just not having it. It can work the other way, where it enslaves you, where all your thought process is, let's get the money. Then you are so materialistic that you don't pay attention to your spirituality or other areas of your life, and you will sacrifice so much just to get the money. So you have to understand the wound so you can deal with it. See how this makes it specific for you, and you're able to attack it and go for it and start to find healing ways of doing it. All right, and I'll break those down, how you can, you know, heal these things. Okay, so the knowledge is very important. Knowledge of self heals everything. Not knowing so much about yourself is blocking yourself from really living a fulfilled life. You know, you would be in patterns and going through things that, you know, you will never have sort of control over, and that is not a high vibrational form of living. That's not a balanced lifestyle. It's not. I don't care what anybody say. That's not balanced. Okay, if you are working 24/7 and barely have time for anybody else, we got issues. What if you get sick? Okay, so knowing, using your astrological charts, knowing your Chiron position, you know, wounds that you're carrying, all that. All right, you definitely have to be your own monitoring person. You are monitoring yourself. You are the manager of your own life. That is the God power. You have the right and the ability to monitor your own patterns. Over a 7-year period, you need to write all the major things that happens in your life and see that it doesn't repeat. And sometimes you need a couple of rounds, maybe a couple of decades. Maybe now that I'm in my 40s, I have my teenage years, I have my 20s, I have my 30s to look back on and literally see what my patterns are. If you can monitor your patterns and look at the year at which things happen to you, add up the numbers, look at, even go as detailed as the month, look at the situation, you will see that things are repeating. You have the same pattern, the same energy coming yearly, all right, in every 7-year pattern or 12-year pattern. The same energies are coming around for you because it is a circle. It's a cycle that you're going through, right? So it's a chart. So every year, you know, when you reach a certain number, the same energies will come around. So if you can pay attention to the patterns, you'll be able to catch yourself and see where your problems are. All right, while you're repeating the same thing, and then you can attack it that way and stop certain patterns that can result in even illnesses, and even be able to pinpoint certain genetic problems that you have. Like, maybe in your family they all have diabetes. Now that you know that, your family, they all get diabetes, now you can simply look at, how you are affected in your chart. Maybe look at your fourth house, or look at your south node to see what you came with, what sign is in. You can do a couple of things with your charts and just watching your patterns and be able to really stop things in the track. It's very simple. Sometimes you just have to be conscious. If diabetes runs in my family, it means that I have to watch my sugar intake. I have the tendency to do this, that. It seems so simple, but you being self-conscious puts you on alert to all these things, right? And plus, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, you are literally going to be seeing these things maybe in your dream, however way your gift is. If it's through you feeling it, if you knowing naturally, all the clear senses. I don't want to go over it because I've already done that in my last video. If you want to know the spiritual gifts and how information come to you, listen to my past video if you don't know it. But there's different ways. For me, for instance, I'm clairvoyant, so I will dream it. Everything that's going to happen to me, I will dream it. If it's major and it's going to create a big shift, or just me knowing, if I want to know, I can dream it. I can visualize, I can see it, I can get images in my head, or I can be watching a movie and see the answer I need. It's all about you understanding how your process works, so you'll be able to see the pattern. Right, you be conscious of the pattern and you stop it in its tracks, right? So you have to consciously monitor yourself and always use the preventive methods and stay in balance. So I think these are the main things, and also just literally, just understanding the spiritual awakening in itself is putting you, like, making you someone that is able to alchemize energy. So your natural process, every year you go through you release certain things, and then you get reborn. Like right now, Scorpio season that we just passed, you have released certain things. If you have gone through a spiritual awakening, then you have gone through some sort of release already, where you let go of certain problems associated, deeper hidden within you, that you weren't releasing. It could be emotional trauma, it could be anger issues, it could be revenge problems, it could be mistakes that you're making. It just suddenly comes clear for you, and you're able to release those problems because you gain the understanding, and then you start on a new path. During the Sag season, you go into a whole new journey. In the spring also, there's another gateway for you to start a whole new process of starting to manifest new things into your life. So naturally, when you are spiritually awakened, your body, your energy is in alignment with the universe. So whatever is going on energetically with the planetary system and everything that's going on, it is going on within your body. So if the world is dying, you are dying with it, like it's fall. So when the leaves were falling, you were also, certain aspects of you was falling within your body, and it goes into the winter when it's death. Certain things just literally just die in you, and then when it's time for regeneration and for new beginnings, for you to assess your life and put in new plans, the spring, your body goes through that within your energy as well. So you're naturally in alignment. When we talk about alignment, that's what we're talking about in the spiritual community. So you waking up on the soul level has naturally blessed you with all of this. Naturally you're going to go through it, but you are even more conscious of it, and you can take advantage of the system, the timing and everything, and you see that your life is much more in flow and smooth with everything. This is what makes you the universe. What is not in you is not, you cannot see it. You can only see and live in the reality of what is within you. So the season is in you, everything, the planets are in you, like I always tell you. All right, so these are the main things that I'm going to be explaining and going deeper and breaking things down for you. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to start breaking things down for you to understand. All right, now that I've gone over the major points, let's get into it. Okay, so my first point was talking about what definitely getting some demonic entities that attach themselves to you. All right, most of the time, the gateway is you not being able to control certain behaviors. All right, and that entity, attaching itself to you because of that. So it comes through addictions, right? Or you inheriting, certain demons from certain people, or somebody sending a demon to attack you spiritually. All right, so removing this is no joke, like I said. And for instance, let's say you have a lust spirit on you. All right, a spirit of lust or greed or whatever. They all have names. This tarot deck gives me the names of different demons, okay, and what they do. All right, and don't get it twisted, because some of the things they do are all positive. Some of it are positive. It still doesn't negate from the fact that this demon is harming you. Okay, so this is how I even got to know some of the names of the demons and what they do because of this deck here. So if you come to me and I want to find out what demon is affecting you, I can pull this deck because I have the gift to channel, and I'm able to really pull the right demon that is on you, and you will know because you'll be behaving in the way that the demon is, what the demon is, right? I think I may have forgotten one big point. The healing energy, we call Reiki now, but that is also one of the major ways of spiritual people healing themselves. But I don't want to forget, so I brought it in because I just remembered that I forgot to write it in my main points. So let's go. Let's finish this first point. So basically, to be able to diagnose, sometimes it's very glaring. It's so strange. They will speak differently. They'll behave differently. They would continuously, let's say if it's alcoholism, this person will drink themselves to stupor. They'll get sick. They'll get everything. They'll fall. They could even get hit by a car and they'll still continue drinking. All right, they will be advised. Everybody will not understand why that is happening to them, but they still do it, and they don't have control over it. One of the ways to figure it out, when somebody has lost total control over certain aspects of their life, then it's a demonic entity that attaches itself when it wants to and removes itself when it doesn't want to. I mean, when it wants to. So it goes in and out of your life, right? Because you are a host. You are weak through the particular thing that you do. It could be even you go to certain places you're not supposed to go, and that area that you are, a lot of demons feel good there, so they go there. All right, and then you keep going there, so it's easy for them. There's always an entryway, and that entryway has to do with you being weak or being in certain places you're not supposed to be. Some people have attachments, so it could be even the fact that you are around someone that has a demonic attachment, or you are sleeping with someone. I don't want to make it all about sexual one, but that's the most common one because people are attracted to sex and money. So those are the two main ones, and mental illness too. Mental are the maybe those 3 points are the main things that people really get messed up on, because people get mostly addicted to drugs, alcohol, food, sex, money. So those are the common demons that come and attach themselves to you, and you don't know why. You're just so driven by your finances, or you are okay with being so poor, and you settle for less, and you not take care of yourself, and you even have demons that are about filth, like they are just dirty, and you are dirty, and you're okay with being dirty. So you can see it. But if you come to a spiritual person, and a spiritual person wants to do it, it's all about pulling the cards, the divination, whatever system the spiritual person uses, or some of them don't use any cards, like clairvoyance. I can dream and tell you your problem, right? Your problem will come to me in a dream. It happens to me that way. Most of the time, I will dream your problem. I'll see your problem. I'll see how you're behaving, and I'll know this and this and that and that. You could be talking to me about your issue, and I could be seeing a color, I could be seeing a number, I could be seeing, an image in my head, all right, or hearing stuff, or feeling a certain way. For instance, if someone is talking to me and their problem, their entity is surrounding, how do you call it, like maybe confidence, I might be getting stomach aches or tinglings in my stomach, because that's the solar plexus. That is where your confidence energy, the vibration lies. The sun energy is right there in your stomach, in the middle. So if somebody has weakness in decision making and has no self power, how some people, you look at them and like, you have no backbone. That is a chakra, a third chakra problem. But I think I've gone beyond myself. Let me move. So you definitely need to focus on getting some sort of divination, then pulling a deity that is specific to that problem, or an angel that is specific to that problem. Some of your ancestors you can also pull, in your spirit guides, so you can divine and get help, because this is something that you cannot handle on your own. When it's an entity attachment, a spiritual person will always pull advice from angels, divine, through the ancestors or certain deities, and work with them. And sometimes it can be something that can be done with candles, which I can do. Candles, certain herbs, certain physical things can be used, but then it can be so bad that your prayers and you commanding the entity to leave. If you're not strong, you don't have that spiritual voice, you cannot command the demon to leave. And if you don't know what to say to the demon, you cannot do it. That's why you will need an expert to do that for you, because they can talk to the demon and let the demon leave. I believe that when you are spiritually awoken and your voice holds power, you can do it. But I haven't done it before, so I don't know if I can do it. But I know that there are experts for it. So that is how you go about it, okay? And then they'll probably will give you certain things, practices to do. Like if it was sex, then you have to abstain from sex for a while, right? Learn how to control that, so that succubus entity doesn't attach itself to you. The less an imbalance that you are with that problem, the more you are preventing yourself from that, okay? Well, one thing that I personally hate when it comes to healing, when people get attached to entities attach themselves, is because I see the problem as you not being strong enough. I see it as like, if you have an addiction and you don't solve it, you're opening doors for big problems like that. So I don't take addictions lightly, and that's one thing that I can literally say. I hate it when somebody's addicted to something, because when I'm around you, then I'm prone to being attacked by this entity, because it will use you to attack me, to use you to attack whoever is around you, because you are weak and you have become a host for something that is out of our control. So you have to really watch it. That's why I don't like being around people. If I see that you are addicted to something, I'm either going to help you and take care of it, so I can be around you, or I would get away from you immediately. Because addiction is the gateway to the problem with entities. It starts there and then they attach. Or it could just be somebody sending you attacks. Okay, and if you are not spiritually gifted, you can't see that this person is under attack. So what do we do then? That's why spiritual ascension is important for everybody. For everybody. It protects you. You see that somebody has sent you something. I mean, I fight spiritual battles in dream state, where it's like a gang of people throwing spiritual energy at me, and I'm standing and we're standing and using lightning and using whatever energy I have in the dream state to combat spiritual things. If you don't have that power, how are you going to fight it? How you can't see, because the battle is spiritual. That is one of the reasons why I love being where I am and being open to spirituality, because I'll fight my battle in the spiritual, in the dream state, in the astral plane, or whatever plane we're on, fifth dimension plane we're on. Wherever you meet me, I'll meet you there. I will fight you there before it even comes to the physical. All right. So I mean, recently I did some things. I was doing that. I was fighting certain battles in the spirit world, and you need it. You need to have your gifts to be able to do that. 11 on the clock. You think sometimes it's even as simple as eating. You would think, it's eating. Why can a demon be? Yeah, could be something you inherited. You are around someone that has an entity. The entity jumps on you, and then don't go and have sex with them, and don't go and care about them and love them. It means you are affected by that person's demon. So you gotta watch who you're around, what you're doing, all that stuff, because it can happen in all those things. And somebody can send you a demon to come and attack you, and it will be on you like white on rice. If you cannot use if you don't have any spiritual gifts, you can't tell that something is out of control. Your glass will fall out of your hands. Spiritual phenomena happen around you and you don't understand. Everything you hold just falls right out of your hands. You start having car problems. Every time you turn around, you work so hard, but you can't see any money in the account. Because something will happen. As soon as you get free money, something happens. You have to go and use that money. It's like it can happen in so many ways, all right, that you have to pay attention. Something is out of the ordinary here, all right. You easily forget. You were supposed to be at the interview, you overslept. Simple things like that is happening. If something happens like that 3 times, like you're picking up eggs from your fridge and then it falls out of your hands, those things you need to understand and look out for. Like broken glasses, certain animals crossing your path, like spiders weaving things in your house, and you having so many spider webs, or it's like, what other clues can I give you? Broken objects. Right now I'm frozen, but yeah, there are certain things that happen. Like maybe you get into an accident, or the same things happens to you. Maybe girls do something to you. A relationship keep happening the same way. Like you always get dumped. Something. It has to be a pattern and it has to be noticeable for you to be able to diagnose if it's demonic or it's a pattern in your own family. You need to figure that out. Right, and only spiritual gifted people can figure that out. Or I'm not even going to say gifted, awakened people will be able to see that, okay, with that knowledge of astrology and my charts and my family background, this is not connected to my family. This is a whole attack on me. How are you going to know if you're not conscious and you're not studying and you don't know anything about your family, what is in your family, in your genetics, what is likely to happen to you? Some families, all the women cannot become wealthy, and you don't know that. It's a secret in your family, but you don't know that. If you don't study your astrological charts and you can't divine and you can't ask questions on the soul level and nothing gets revealed to you, how would you know? This is crazy stuff. That's why you need to become more knowledgeable. All right. So knowledge of self carries a big, part of the whole thing for you to help yourself. All right, you can use divination. You can do past life regression by meditating and going astral traveling into a different timeline to see certain things in your past life that is affecting you now. There are processes that a spiritual person can use. Like I said, meditation alone can reveal so much to you. Asking yourself a question and really listening, or allowing it to come to you how it will. All right. Like I've already said, the Chiron or the Chiron placement in your chart can literally show you where your deepest wound is, which is your deepest problem, right? That you need to heal so that your life will be better and more easy to navigate. And sometimes people will be like, I'm so poor, I never get rich. For instance, it's just an instance. All right, and come to find out, that's where their deepest wound is. But they think that somebody is doing it. They think that it's their boss, but they are not. They don't realize that it's stemming from them, and they haven't healed it, so they are carrying it around. All right, and it's affecting everything. Nothing changes if you haven't changed from within. If you don't fix certain imbalances in you, you continue to mirror reflect that energy that's in you outward all the time. And that is one of the ways you can tell, right? If that's all you continue to do, it is what is in you. What is in you is what you're showing us most of the time. So you have to watch yourself, watch your patterns. Okay, I think I've over explained that. The 10 big points is healing, living in balance and moderation, like I said. All right, so watching your behavior, watching your body, just watching how you think, how you're processing information, all this stuff. All right, really, it's a way of you digging into it, and having that understanding helps you to figure it all out, right? I think the third point that I was trying to make is about being out of balance. Okay, so let's say you think that because you constantly meditate, you are always high vibrational. But what happens? I've been there, done that before, where all I did was meditate. All I thought about was spiritual stuff. My mind was overthinking all the time. I didn't care about my material life, my food, my kids, my lifestyle. It really can knock you off balance. Even if you think you're doing something so great, you are so spiritual, you're so high spiritual and all that, and then you neglect your physical needs, that puts you out of balance. Because spirituality is mental, right? It's mental and it's energetic. But when you focus on that all the time, and all you care about is meditating and all that, and thinking about what demon and what spirit and this and that, somehow something falls short, and that is your material life. So then you are out of balance. So it can go both ways. There's some people that all they do is pray, prayer warriors. They will pray, and never take actions to solve the problem. We have a problem. That's an imbalance in your chakras. So one of the ways that a spiritual person is going to heal themselves is understanding the chakras. So I want to take this time out to break down the chakras. We have 7 main chakras within the physical body, but I think it's 12. There's 12 that goes beyond your physical body. All right, we don't need to study the ones after the 12, the soul, star chakra, and all that stuff. We don't really need to, because I think that issues pertaining to that is done on an angelic and ancestral level, and your soul level deals with those type of things. You may be aware that things are being fixed for you, but it doesn't affect you so much in your physical life. So the ones that affect you so much are the 7 main ones, which is your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra. Now, this is all based on the Hindu teachings, so I have to be clear. And I don't have the information with the Egyptians, but they were all about energy and spirituality as well. The information goes all the way there. There is system to correlate with how I'm explaining it through the Hindu ways, okay? But I haven't studied it, so I cannot use the terminology and the ways that the ancient Egyptians, broke these type of things down. But the system goes all the way that far. So let's just be clear. It is African, and it is part of the black person's culture to understand the spiritual system within your body. That is how the Egyptians lived, and the Hindus do that. Hinduism, or learning about the chakras and all this stuff, is one of the oldest ones as well. So for me, it's not like I'm trading Africans for, no. It is the system that is true. Is the spiritual system is one and the same. So understanding the chakras and these 7 main ones within your body and what it correlates with helps you to diagnose your problem as well. So today I want to kind of break down a little bit. I decided I was going to do it for those who don't want to read it online or buy books pertaining to the chakras and study it. I'm going to show you what they do. I can tell you, and then I'll also, break down quite a bit for you. So when we talk about the root chakra, it is connected to Saturn. So like also the chakras are also connected to the planets. I tell you that you're a planetary being all the time. I tell you that, and I'm continuously going to tell you that. If once you study the system, you will see that it will be easy for you to diagnose your problem and see where your problem is. If you have communication problem, there's block in your throat chakra. All right, and that's all we're going to break down. Okay, so let's move. So I want to take this time to kind of do a quick breakdown of the chakras, the 7 main ones for you guys. For those of you who don't want to do the research, want to hear me say it, I'm going to do it for you. So the first one, which is the one on the tailbone, right, connected to Saturn, which is all about Earth. Okay, that's the placement of the Earth in your body. And that is where your security, your money matters, your immediate family, like the man you marry, the woman you marry, that kind of stuff. It's all connected to that chakra. So your action, your security, your family, your tribe, where you feel safe is all connected. So your job, career, all that stuff will be connected to that chakra. Okay, and so when you have issues like when you're on survival mode, it's an imbalance in what? That chakra, right? Because it's pertaining to family matters, it's pertaining to money and all that. So when you come to a spiritual healer and you constantly don't have money, the spiritual healer can simply tell you, why don't you get some gemstones, okay, that are red, like carnelian, like rubies, red jade. You know, I can go on, and I have the gemstone deck here as well. But most of the time, all the red stones are pertaining to your money matters and physical problems, okay, that have to do with the family, like I was saying. But I'm breaking this down so that I can also use this in case I miss some of the information. And then you go to your sacral chakra, which is the one in your sexual organs. So it has a lot to do with your intimacy, your sexual life, your relationship, vulnerability, your creativity. That is connected to the moon, okay? It's divine feminine energy right there. And it has a lot to do with how you deal with other people, how you relate to other people, all right? Also your desires, okay? Your emotions, hidden aspects. In that chakra also lies your bloodline problems, okay? So things that have to do with your ancestors come through the sexual thing. That's why I'm telling you, watch who you're sleeping with, because that's the gateway. That is how your ancestors are connected to you, through your sexual energy. Right there, it is direct to the blood. That's one of the biggest things that connects blood and blood. That's why sexual union is so powerful, because you are merging your ancestors with your person's ancestors. You don't want to deal with someone's ancestors. You have no business getting off with them. It's that deep. Especially when you become spiritually open, you realize how sacred your sacral chakra is. Your creative power, your ability to create things into being, to bring things forward in this unit, into this physical life, is connected to that sacral chakra as well. The children that are going to come, the ancestors that are reincarnating through you, are coming through your sacral chakra. So you don't play with your sacral chakra. All right, you got games to play. That's not the place. You need to hold that very sacred. Okay, it's not one of the places that you go and play with and have every Tom, Dick, and Harry come and dive into that energy. All right, you don't do that. You know, if you have any trauma, you know, you're trying to heal your ancestral problem, illnesses, and patterns, you can heal through the sacral chakra. That's how deep it is. So you don't play with that. I'm telling you, you just don't. You just don't. So it's a very powerful chakra. It also has things connecting to money, and abundance is also connected to that chakra as well. So this also has to do with you staying out of your head. I mean, the base chakra, the first chakra, the red chakra, all right, which is connected to your money, is connected to your action movements, you know, becoming more disciplined, family, home situations, grounding your energy. So whatever gift you have, let's say you are working on your spiritual gifts. When we talk about the base chakra, grounding that energy, it means that it has to become physical for you to become functionable. So by you walking on grass and connecting to earth and making it physical, you have manifested the spiritual gift from your here and brought it into physical, right? So it's a grounding energy. So your physical health is also connected to this, and your money and possessions, belongings, finances is all connected. So you got possessions, you got physical health, you got grounding, everything becoming physical from the spiritual is what I mean by grounded. Your home situation, who you live with, how comfortable you are, your nurturing, your safety, your warmth is all connected to this chakra. Movement, persevering, disciplining yourself, right? Exercising, those things, all that, what is happening to your physical body is connected to that chakra as well. Saturn also rules the bones, your teeth. So you have joint problems, right? And all that stuff. And I think it rules, yeah, your bones. So an old age, okay? So having a community, a culture, a tribe, family is all connected to the base chakra. So if you're having problems surrounding this, like family problems, the home situation, and you come to me, I could tell you, I could give you a prescription like get some red gemstones, like I said, start wearing red clothes, eat more red foods like apples, tomatoes, all that can help you heal. All right, or I can channel in my Reiki energy and bring the focus to that chakra if you're around me and point to that part of your body and allow the energy to go through there and sip through your skin into your energy field so that I can bring balance to that part of your body. All right, so not everybody can channel in healing energy. I'll tell you guys the story of how that ability came to pass, okay? But I want to break down the chakras today. So like I was saying, that's the first chakra. The second chakra, the sacral chakra, has to do with your emotions, your feelings, your expressions, balancing those mood swings, your desires, right? So goals, your passions, your cravings, your fulfillment, all this is connected to the sacral chakra, which is orange in color. All right, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, trust, relationships, money, sexuality, openness, sharing, beauty, honor, finances, power, generosity, and abundance. All this, like I was saying, creativity, that divine feminism, the moon is connected to that. So hidden aspects of yourself, like I explained, I even gave you more information, all right, than what these cards gave you. So those things will be healing that. Okay, if you have sexual problems, maybe maybe you're not getting orgasms, so maybe you're overstimulated there. We would have to heal that through the sacral chakra. You wear your oranges, you drink your oranges, right? You wear orange gemstones like citrine and orange calcite. There are other ones. There's a lot. I have the deck I can pull. There's so many orange gemstones that you can naturally use. Besides that, you're going to have to meditate, focus your energy there. I can also bring in healing energy and focus it there, right? So on certain levels, you are able to do these things. All right, and you can heal through these things there. So you see, money is connected to your lower chakras, right? The first and the second chakra, if it's a money problem. So when you understand that, you can focus on how you're going to heal it. And this is what I was telling you, can be connected to your ancestors, you can be connected to your bloodline problems, and all that can be diagnosed if you really know what you're doing as a spiritual person. Okay, the third chakra is the sun. All right, the sun that you see, that's where it is in your body. All right, and it has a lot to do with self-empowerment, courage. All right, inner childhood wounds could be connected to that, or just inner child, which is all your joy is stemming from your solar plexus. Okay, your innocence, your lightheartedness, your playfulness, your wonder, a sense of wonder and creativity, your ability to make strong decisions, making choices, your free will, your courage, your willpower, the ability for you to change and make decisions is connected to this. Setting personal boundaries and standing by your boundaries, becoming more authentic, more aware, more empowered, right? Making strong choices and being authentic in who you are all comes from your solar plexus. That's why I was telling you, if I'm dealing with someone with low self-esteem, is connected to the sacral chakra as well. All right, so this card, I'm not giving you all the information, so whatever comes to me, I'll tell you. Okay, not having low, high self-esteem runs into the solar plexus, because then if you don't know your self-worth and value, then it runs into the indecision, which affects your solar plexus. So now you act like you don't have backbone, you can't make a decision, you're always confused, you don't know whether you're going or coming, you don't have any self-empowerment. All right, you can't even be authentic with yourself.